Operating system. Operating system. Don't forget, we are still talking about system softwares. System software. Operating system are special software that directs the activities of hardware and other software resources. Uh, if you have been using the computer, we say you your system needs formatting. Your system needs formatting. That means you want to install a new operating system inside of your computer. So when you take it to an engineer, what he will do is to carry a CD, put it inside of your CD-ROM, go to the setup environment, instruct the computer to boot from the CD-ROM without booting from the hard disk. So when it does that, it will do some configuration and allow the process to continue. After that, the engineer will remove the CD from the CD-ROM and return, instruct the computer to be booting from the hard disk. He would transfer the operating system that is inside of the CD-ROM to the hard disk. So that is basically the concept. So when we say format your system, we are telling you to install a new operating system inside of your computer. So operating system are special software that directs the activities of hardware and other software resources. Without your operating system, other hardware and software resources will not work. Without the operating system, you will not be able to print with your computer. Without the operating system, you will not be able to install Microsoft PowerPoint, CorelDRAW, Excel inside of your computer. So that is how important your operating system is. So without the operating system, the computer will not boot, and there is no application that will be installed inside the computer. Example of operating system is the DOS, the Windows, but these days we are not using the DOS again. It is for programmers. We are using the Windows. If you have ever designed a website using coding methods, you use a special window or a special operating system that is called the DOS, disk operating system, to write the programs. But every other end users, if you are not a programmer, you use the Windows that are user friendly. So this is the relationship between the operating system, the hardware, and the software. So we users, we are here. So it is the operating system that will enable hardware to communicate with the operating system, and it will be installed inside of your computer. And when applications are installed inside of your computer, your operating system must authenticate it. Then we users will be able to use the application. What happens inside of the computer is not necessarily your problem. Your own is to use the computer. So I love giving an assignment so that you can do some research. So I say write exhaustively on the following: compilers, editors, drivers, utility programs, translators. And I'm telling you that all the above mentioned system software combine to make your computer communicate with application and computer users effectively. So all these things we have mentioned enable your computer to work effectively. Without them, your computer will not work. So we say types of operating system. We have different types of operating system, and there are many criteria that we use in classifying any type of operating system. So we classify operating system based on the mode of operation. And based on the mode of operation, we have command driven operating system, we have menu driven or icon driven operating system, and we also classify operating system based on the number of users it can support. And based on the number of users it can support, we have single user operating system, and we have multi tasking operating system, and we are still talking number of tasks it performs, single tasking operating system, and multitasking operating system. Multitasking operating system. Let's look at each of them and what they stand. So let's take a closer look at command driven. So like your MS-DOS, the DIX operating system is a command driven operating system. It works through commands. It works through commands. You can read through what is here, pause the video, read through it, and you continue. This is normally the interface of the command driven operating system, in which you write codes for the computer to work. For any action to take place, there must be a corresponding code for that action. But in the menu or icon driven operating system, you don't need that. This is a menu. When you click, if you are with your computer, you click on the start button, you see a pop-up will come up like this. A pop-up will come up like this, and you will be able to access icons, commands here. This one you don't need to write codes. So you have icons here. So this is a menu. This is a menu. If you have ever visited a restaurant and you go there, you have the list of food that you have inside of the restaurant. That is a menu list. So in computer we also have menu. If you click on maybe a startup button and you see this is a menu. But if you flip to the desktop environment, you see several icons displayed on the desktop. So this is the interface of the menu or icon driven operating system. Let's take a closer look at window, which is an example of icon operating system, or menu or icon driven operating system. So Microsoft operating system, also known as graphic user interface operating system, is a typical example of icon driven operating system. So you can read through this. So it makes use of menus and icons for the computer to execute its commands. So icons are pictorial representation of items in the computer through which computer users click in order for a particular task to be carried out. We already said that. We showed you an example of menu and icon. So these are all icons. We already showed you how menu or when to activate a menu. So these are the different icons. So we make use of mouse here and keyboard. In the menu driven, the paramount thing we use is the mouse, but in the DOS operating system we use the keyboard mostly to give commands. So example of the menu driven operating system is the window that we are using, and we have different types of window. We have window me. Most of these operating systems are no more in use. Window 8, Window XP. System of nowadays cannot accept window me. They can accept Window 98, Window XP, Window Vista. You might be lucky accept Windows 7. So Windows 8 is the ones that we still have now, Windows 10 and other windows that are coming out newly. So we keep on having new windows, and as a result, system manufacturers will always install them inside of the BIOS so that it will help us work effectively. So Windows AS is a working environment that allows two or more applications to run simultaneously and equally allow the user of mouse to communicate with the computer system. So we use text and graphics which normally displayed on the monitor in the window operating system or in Windows. Unlike when we were using the DOS, we need to type commands for it to work. Unlike Windows, unlike MS-DOS, Windows come with a very user-friendly interface. You read through this. This says that tutorial. When we were having Windows 98, they used to come with tutorial in which when you finish formatting, you can play the tutorial. But Windows of nowadays, they don't come with those tutorials. So without the operating system, you will have to speak to and understand the signal used by every piece of hardware connected to the computer. We already said that the window enable us to use computer peripherals without necessarily having to worry about what is happening. So that is for Windows. So you say single user operating system. Single user. In single user operating system, only one user of the computer is supported at a time. That is for single user operating system. The MS-DOS is a typical example of single user operating system. So MS-DOS, single tasking operating system. What are single tasking? So the single tasking operating system is the foundation for all other PC operating system accommodating only one task or software at a time. Basically, if you are using the DOS and you want to execute a particular function or a particular thing, you will have to, if you want to print now, you will not be able to use other application. You have to finish printing before you can think of using other application. You have to finish printing, or if you load Microsoft Word now, you will not be able to load CorelDRAW. But that is not what we are having these days. You can load even 5 applications in as much as your computer can carry at the same time, and they will be staying there waiting for you. So if a document has to be printed, all the activities on the computer must wait until the printing task is finished before one can resume another task. That is a single tasking operating. You cannot do many tasks at the same time. So example is the DOS. So multitasking operating system. The multitasking operating system enables the running of several applications tasks at the same time, like the window that we are having here nowadays. So multitasking operating system are available on all types of computers, from microcomputers to mainframe computers. That is that. The Windows software developed by Microsoft, Bill Gates, the chief CEO of this company. So they are the people that actually came up with the Windows operating system, and it's a user-friendly operating system. Every computer these days make use of the Windows operating system uh, for every activity of the computer. So multi-user operating system. So before the arrival of multi-user operating environment or net operating system, a user had to copy and do other things. So but these days the multi-user operating system enable you to do several things. So functions of the operating system. So those are basically the types of operating system. You don't need to really actually worry about them, but just know that we have different types of operating system for emphasis. But the one we are actually using is the Windows operating system. If you are a programmer, you will need the DOS operating system. So there are so many functions of the operating system, but let's restrict our discussion to only 3. Depending on the literature you are getting your information from, you might see different functions of the operating system, but we want to compress them. We don't want to give you plenty information. So let's just see the operating system arranges files on a variety of storage media like the hard disks. When you type in your computer and you save, your file will get stored inside of the hard disk. So it is the operating system that will arrange the file. The operating system coordinates and manipulates both the hardware and software resources such as computer memory, keyboard, mouse, monitor, printers, and all the application softwares. We already said that with the operating system, every hardware and software resources will be properly taken care of. So the operating system manages all hardware errors and data loss by software. That means the operating system is the operating system is for input output control, memory management, controlling of program execution operations, etc. So those are basically the functions of operating system, and those are some. I say some. If you move to the repairs class, we will dwell on the operating system, show you how to install, format your system, how to troubleshoot operating system problems, and the rest. So we actually mention some types or classification of operating system, and we have listed some of the functions of operating system, and we will come back with more information.